So, the album is called In Case. The first track off the album is called In Case We Shouldn't Make It, a note from the Electric Pigeons. And it was the first song that I wrote for the album called In Case We Shouldn't Make It. So it was about February 2020. I remember saying something and posting something online being like, I don't really have anything to write about anymore. I've said everything I need to say. And shortly thereafter, about 6 weeks later, I was in my house for the second consecutive week, not going anywhere. And I finally was like, well, let's do something then. Let's make some music. I had all of these beats that were just sitting on my hard drive where I chopped up a sample and made a beat. And I was just like, yo, these suck. So I went back in and I re-chopped the samples and I started remaking some beats. And I made about 5 or 6. I hadn't written anything yet. And this was the one where I was like, this is just gonna be whatever the project is, it's just gonna be this. I wrote the line, in case we shouldn't make it, a note from the Electric Pigeons, basically being like, yo, this is my digital love letter I'm sending out to people. The song is just basically like, shit's kind of crazy right now, but I got love for you. One of the things about the song was I wanted to do some Emily Dickinson shit where the first line of each song was the title of each song. So this song, the first line is in case we shouldn't make it, a note from the Electric Pigeons. And that was the title of the song. And I was like, well, that's really dope. The project came about and my original plan was like, we're just gonna make some songs for as long as we're quarantined. And then quarantine stretched and I was like, well, we're just gonna make one album that's just kind of everything that's happening. And then there's stuff that I talk about on the second record, just in case we make it, that like Kenosha, Wisconsin and Portland where there was protests and things were on fire. And then there was insurrections and there was all these things happening and it ended up turning into like, oh shit, I got 22 songs that basically detail my entire process of everything that was happening and me perceiving everything that was happening. And so I turned it into 2 separate projects. There's In Case We Shouldn't Make It and Just In Case We Make It. And the idea is basically just, what do you do when you are kind of just stuck by yourself while ostensibly the world around you is crumbling and you're not really perceiving the world around you because you're not going out into it, so you're being fed it through news and articles and social media posts, and you get glimpses of it when you go to the grocery store or the hardware store or you go on a bike ride. And so it's about the outer world kind of just going through something I've never seen before personally, while also like my inner world and my inner group of people that I was with, just like really fortifying that and just strengthening your force field, and then having this desire that you could stretch your force field and extend the protection of it to other people in your life. And then all of a sudden being like, I don't even want it just for the people that I love. I want it for acquaintances and strangers, and I kind of want this whole world to feel this protection, not just from me, but from itself. I want these systems to change. I want the way that we interact with the environment to change. I want the way that we care for each other to change, whether that's me caring for you or you caring for me, or just 2 other people caring for each other. In Case We Shouldn't Make It is this mentality of like, we're gonna bust our ass and we are going to do everything we can to better ourselves, for the people in it, for the people that we don't even necessarily like, for the animals and the creatures and the other life that exists on this earth. And even if we aren't successful, which it seemed and sometimes still seems that is going to be the case, that we won't be successful, we're never going to be able to say that we didn't give a shit and that we didn't try. And that's kind of the mentality for the entire record. And this song kind of kickstarts that mentality on some, I know it might seem like I'm spazzing right now, but this is where I'm at. And kind of the beautiful thing about looking back on this record and this song and all the songs that are made, all 22 of these songs between the 2 projects, is that there are some times when I'm really embarrassed by things that I say. I'm like, yo, you were kind of bugging. but I like that embarrassment. It's one of the things I like about art, is that it is who you are at that time, and I'm not going to hide that at all. So this is the first song that kickstarts off what will end up being 22 full songs. In case we shouldn't make it, a note from the Electric Pigeons. In case we shouldn't make it, a note to the Electric Pigeons. Thank you for your patience, apologies for my pessimism. I've been scouring the rabbit holes and magic portals, looking for a formula to jolt us back to normal. I brush it off, baby, like a paleontologist. Some are flailing, scaling walls, I try to barely acknowledge it. I got my fatal flaws and some daily insomnia. Maybe Ender saves us all, that's a deus ex machina.